Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the TLC Podcast. I'm your host, Eric, joined as always by my co host, Mike. Mike, how are you tonight?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. It is this time, a Thursday night. Typically, we're on Wednesdays, but some scheduling conflicts, things had to get moved around. We're here on a Thursday. Let me just as I'm really new at learning some of these little tricks stuff. Some of my other co-hosts have been doing well since the beginning, such as putting out like a little banners and stuff like that at the beginning of our show, so I can share
Right.
and hopefully we're reaching some more people tonight. I'm looking forward to talking about some of the things. Like one, I want to talk a little bit about the show we went to this past weekend,
Okay.
which was absolutely awesome.
It was.
Uh, I'll tell you, it's been a long. Like, not only has it been a long time since I've been to a wrestling show, in fact, I don't think I've been to one since WrestleMania 35 in New York. And next year we are going to WrestleMania 40.
Good.
So it's the first time in 4 years I've been to a wrestling show. Of course, COVID was mixed in there, so I blame a lot on COVID.
Yeah. Because I remember I was thinking about going to the Elimination Chamber 2020, which was the last
Mm-hmm.
event, premium or pay per view before
Yeah.
COVID. But even that, like, it was so predictable, Shayna Baszler. I didn't even feel like spending the money to go down there.
No, that wasn't I didn't feel like it was a good show. They booked her so strong, and I
Right.
thought if you're gonna book her that strong, she has to win at WrestleMania,
And she didn't.
and she didn't. And I was like, I remember watching WrestleMania, and of course, maybe had it been in a live crowd, maybe they would have booked it different.
Right.
But and at that point, we didn't know how long it was going to be
Right.
until we had a live crowd again. We didn't know it would be over a year until we had a live crowd.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, but yeah, I want to get into that show. I thought it was just such a great show. The AXW show from Saturday night in Hamsburg, PA. Man, I had a great time. I enjoyed hanging out with you, Sean.
Thank
Yes.
you.
As Sean came with us.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was
It
a
was.
really good time.
It was. Sean got his picture taken in the ring. He
Yeah,
enjoyed
with a couple of heels and some chicken suits.
Yes.
Did you say I got the picture for free?
It was.
You probably also say keep that on the down low.
Right. Yeah. It was $10 for a picture.
Oh,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So no, that was fun though. He
Yeah.
got his picture taken.
And I know you wanted to mention really the promoter of the show, Antonio.
Yes.
What a great guy! Got to meet him on
Yes.
Saturday.
Yeah. He's a great guy. I've been talking to him quite often here and there. And I'm really looking forward to. They're doing June 24th, another show in Hamburg.
Which physically I'm here, but mentally already there.
Right. And then I'm really looking forward to September 16th when they do the Legends of Hamburg Fan Fest.
Yes.
And then after that, they do the show. They do the show after that. Hold on 1 second. Sean, grab the pizza, please. Our food's getting delivered right now.
Perfect timing.
No, it's actually mommy. I thought it was the food. It's actually my wife coming home.
Oh, okay.
Okay, there you go.
Well, there you go. Problem solved.
Problem solved. But no, that was a really fun show.
Yeah, it really was.
And I've been to other indie shows where
Mhm.
they drag it on, they give you quantity over quality.
Right. That was just a quality show.
It was quality, and it was nothing drug out too long.
No.
Good.
Everything was real quick. It was meant to entertain, just again, I feel like I'm gonna sound like a broken record. It was just so good, like, and it was refreshing. Like you saw heels doing heel thing, like very early in the program. You got to see, okay, these are the top heels.
Yeah,
These are the guys we're supposed to hate. These are the other guys that we're supposed to like. And how about Danny Burch showing up, man? That was
that was
cool.
great.
Him there.
Yeah,
Having
that
him
was really cool having him there.
from Lorcan and Birch from NXT. What a great tag team they were there. And great to see Danny Burch landing on his feet and doing it, having a great show there in
Yeah.
Hamburg.
Yeah, and in fact, we got really 2 matches out of him too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was in the title match, and then this,
And then the 6-man.
and
Yeah.
the 6-man at the end. So that was great.
And the Mr. America there got the winning fall.
Yes,
So he gets to stay on AXW.
right. The American Hammer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm excited for him. He looks like a great white meat baby face who, can do a lot of good things there. In the 6-man, there was one guy in particular that actually during the intermission got an acknowledgement from one of the baby faces from that really good guy. Didn't catch his name. But yeah, really like just a great show. And anybody who's ever watched any shows with me, like other than wrestling, I am god awful at remembering names.
Yes.
So like, I hope nobody takes offense to anybody who may be watching from the Hamburg show. I'm just so bad with names. Like
Right.
it's terrible.
That
At
is-
work, everybody has to wear their names on an apron, and if it weren't for that, I wouldn't know anybody's name there either.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's horrible with that. It is horrible.
I feel like at a young age, like all this sports and wrestling information got loaded into my brain, and now there's no room for anything else.
Anything else of importance? Yes.
yeah,
Hold on 1 second.
yeah, go ahead. I
I gotta
will. Yeah, I'll take you off while we Oh, let me just. Sorry, this is the joys of being live, as nothing can go wrong when you're live, because if it happened, it meant you meant for it to happen. And so I'm just gonna take that off while we have this part. I really enjoyed the AXW show. Great time for anybody who is in that area and would be interested in coming out for a future show. I know Mike mentioned the June 24th show, and then in September they're having another show, like the Legends of Hamburg Wrestling, and they're going to have guys all day there doing autographs, and then the show that night. Going to be a great time. Like we said, lots going on with our station. I'll take this opportunity while Mike's out and gathering his pizza. I will bring up, if I can. Yeah, we will advertise La Terrain watches, and great set of watches there. Use the site or use the promo code PSA for site-wide discounts. And I'll bring Mike back on here, and I will.
I'm back.
There we go. All right. And I will bring that back up. Look at me showing off my knowledge of the ticker there.
Very nice.
Right?
Impressive, I must say. Very impressive.
See, that's the thing here at the Philly Sports Alliance and at the TLC podcast. We have to multitask. Nobody's just on-air talent. Nobody is just a producer. We are all in one. We are the total package.
There you go.
Because we can't afford to pay everybody.
Well, that happens. It's a growing business.
Yes. Yeah, growing business. And while we're at, I want to tease the idea again. We're going to be coming up with our 100 favorite matches. We're going to start listing. We'll go 100 to 91, I suppose, in a couple of weeks. I'm still working on my list. I'm at match 75 on my list.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in the 60s right now.
Okay, so we're about the same area.
Yes.
So we'll try to have that done. Look, the idea is I want to go through and just give our favorite matches.
Yeah.
Like they don't have to be the 100 greatest matches of all time.
Right. It's going to give it'll give people something to think about.
Right.
Like,
And I wanted it to be like somebody asked me one time, like, what are 10 matches that you would show somebody who, didn't grow up a wrestling fan, but wanted to get into it now. And I thought, I'm like, man, like, what are the 10 matches I would want to show?
Right.
Like, I'll give a little tease for my list, like Undertaker, Mankind, Hell in a Cell.
Okay.
Like, and I'd explain to them things like the choke slam through the cage was not supposed to happen that way.
And it did. Yeah, I know that's on my list. I got to figure out where I'm going to put that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's funny. I've been just kind of numbering them 1 through, we're right now 75.
Right.
And I don't know if that's going to be where they all end up. But, like, yeah, it'll be interesting to see when I get the all 100 that I want on my list and then say, okay, where do they rank now?
Yeah. Yeah, because let me see here. I got one piece of paper. I actually wrote it out with my chicken scratch handwriting. As I was sitting there, one day just talking to my wife, I'm just like, we're working on this project, and I just started. And I think that's when I texted you. Just 7 of the first 10 matches happened to have Ric Flair in.
I noticed that, like,
it's very repetitive. And then I started with the list after, like, I did like the first 10. I started like, this WrestleMania, and like the Intercontinental title triple threat match.
Yeah.
And then I started thinking just other matches that have sat in my head for a while. And like the Piper Valentine dog collar match from Starrcade.
Great choice, yeah.
That got written down. And then I started doing like my favorite Austin matches, my favorite Hogan matches. And just kind of started going that way. But now I'm kind of just very scattered in a lot of ways.
It's funny you say that because I feel like mine are kind of all over the place. And it's like I'll get these ones in my head where it'll be like, oh, wait, I haven't. In fact, just now, I just had another one that I just thought of right now that I'm like, wait, how did I not put that on the list yet?
Right, yeah. Like I'm sitting here and I'm just going to pull one random match out that I'm just like, I really thought about this. And it's Kerry and Kevin Von Erich against Chris Adams and Gino Hernandez.
Oh, wow. What a great match. And it's funny. You mentioned that. I was just listening to something to wrestle with, one of the old podcasts there, and they were talking about that match.
Oh, wow. That is ironic how just one of the ones that I popped out happened.
Gino Hernandez, man, he's somebody that, like, I know watching the dark side of the ring, like seeing what happened there, that was one of those crazy stories.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded, like, the Bruiser Brody. Like, these are things that, like, as a kid, I didn't really, I didn't see, like, obviously, and I didn't understand what was happening. Some of the ones now that, like, obviously the Benoit story, the second that happened, you knew there had to be, like, a big documentary on that.
Yeah.
And another one that I'm surprised we haven't gotten is, like, what's the Lance Cade? Who trained with Shawn Michaels.
Yeah. I'm surprised we haven't gotten one of him.
Yeah.
The one that's really mind-numbing, considering Dark Side, they've thought about it, they've mentioned his name, is I'm still baffled that we haven't gotten a Gentleman Chris Adams story.
I am absolutely baffled that we haven't gotten a Gentleman Chris Adams story. Yeah. Or Sean O'Hare. He was another one.
He's another one, yeah. There's a lot of just that as the end of this month, when the episodes come out, I'm sure we'll be talking about them, the new ones,
Absolutely.
and it'll be a very interesting take.
Yeah.
Because I enjoyed the Tales from the Territory
Oh, I loved those. They were great.
as well, so it'll be interesting to see
Mhm.
what they're going to do with this season of Dark Side.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's funny. They never seem to run out of these crazy stories. Like
They
every time after the season, I'm like, well, gosh, what are they gonna do? And I think maybe one or two things, and then like I'll think, well, they could do like the AWA story. They could do, they could do a real world class, documentary, like not just about the Von Erichs.
I mean, there was one done, a world class documentary years ago
Mm-hmm.
before WWE bought the rights to world class. It was really well done, and this was years ago. David Manning, the referee, was saying,
Oh wow, yeah.
he said in the documentary, he said, I was walking in an airport in Israel or some foreign country or the Far East, I forget.
Mm-hmm.
He said, and for some reason they had world class on TV. And he said, I looked in there and I was the only one alive in the ring.
Oh,
Just
geez.
how much of a tragedy that whole promotion was.
Yeah, they seem snake bitten. Like, just the whole area. And if you think about even like some of the guys that came out of Dallas that like the world class inspired, like Stone Cold Steve Austin,
Yeah.
inspired by watching world class.
Yep. Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels is another one. Absolutely.
Even though I think San Antonio is more Southwest Championship Wrestling.
Yeah.
But really, and Gary Hart explained this in an interview, that really Dallas controlled the whole state.
Yeah, Dallas did, and I've heard that from other people as well. Dallas controlled the whole state in their pro wrestling.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you had like Cowboy Bill Watts in Oklahoma, who then he really started working more in Mid South and took over booking there. But
Right. Yeah. I mean, even before that, Watts was a huge heel up here in WWF territory.
right,
Yeah.
and of course, Cowboy Bill will go on and have his run in WCW as their president, and I mean, really made it so flippin' easy for Eric Bischoff to come in there and become popular in the front office because he just wasn't Bill Watts.
Yeah.
It's like, imagine that interview process. So, Eric, Mr. Bischoff, what is it you think you would add to WCW as the executive vice president? Well, sir, I've got these great ideas, all these things I want to do. I want to move out of these dingy little southern arenas. I want to take us to Disney World and film there. Oh, and my biggest thing that I can tell you, I'm not Bill Watts.
Yeah. That's really one of the big things.
Damn it, you're hired.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm very interested to see and going to the show on Saturday. I keep wanting to bring this back up. It got me thinking about the days of the territories and because it felt like I got to step back in time and experience life in the territories.
Yeah, it really did. And like I was telling my wife,
Mm-hmm.
I threw on like a championship wrestling show from 1980 to show her.
Mm-hmm.
Hulk Hogan, when he first came to as a heel in WWF, with Fred Blassie. And I said, I was just at that building last night because they filmed in Hamburg.
In Hamburg, yeah.
The other show, they filmed them there. And I'm just like, I was just at that building because you could tell, even with the lights down, exactly where it was. So,
oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's such a great. It's funny. I told somebody I work with who, he was kind of into wrestling like in the 80s, but then he kind of fell out of it. But he's an older guy. He's in his 60s. And I was telling him, just like, yeah, I was in Hamburg. And he's right away, he's like, Oh my god, he's like, you were at the Hamburg. Damn it! Now the name of the building's escaping me.
Well, the historic Hamburg Fieldhouse.
The historic Hamburg Fieldhouse. He's like, you were at the Hamburg Fieldhouse. I'm like, yes, I was.
Yeah. They don't make buildings like that anymore.
No, they certainly don't. That is a building that I certainly hope someday an historical society grabs hold of it and doesn't let anything bad happen to it.
I hope they do, considering what we've seen with the Sportatorium. Speaking of Dallas, yeah,
Yeah, that is sad because that is one of those buildings. If they just preserved it the way it was and just kept it standing,
they would
like,
have had a tourist attraction.
oh my god, every wrestling fan alive today, like that would have been like going to Mecca.
Yeah. Yeah, go to the Sportatorium.
You're right.
People would have traveled.
I would have traveled there. I know back in 2007, my dad and I went to the Eagles Cowboys game in Dallas.
Okay.
And I remember wanting to go see the Sportatorium.
Right.
And that's when I Googled it and found out that it wasn't standing anymore.
Yep.
And I was legit like sad, like because it was all I'm like, oh, like I think the Eagles played there the same weekend as Texas, Oklahoma too.
Okay. Oh
So
wow.
we went to the state fair, which was a great time.
Nice.
We didn't go to the game. That's always now. And since then has become on my bucket list of games I want to go to. The Texas Oklahoma game.
Oh, the Red River Shootout.
Yeah,
yeah, that would be fun to go to.
And it's there in Dallas, and so yeah, that like I enjoy the history of wrestling, and like something this Saturday, Backlash. Just to kind of segue into that conversation.
Okay.
We won't give our predictions because I don't know. Are we going to try to go on before or after Backlash this weekend?
It's up to you.
Okay, so we will keep everybody informed. I will let them know if we were going on before and or after.
Okay. Yeah, I'm flexible. I will be watching Backlash.
As will I. Yeah.
So I'm flexible for the hop on for quick pre-show, and then if you want to do a quick post-show.
Yeah, we could plan to do that because I know, in a previous meeting we talked about the idea of doing like a watch along during the show. I don't think that would work very well for me,
Right?
Because just the internet and how it lags if I have the TV on in here with the because I stream everything and
Right.
I'd obviously be streaming the show on on Peacock.
So yes, yeah, it could be technical lag. So
Yeah,
I think a post and or pre-shows might be the way to do it.
I think so too. I think that might be the way to go.
Yes.
So stay tuned for that, all of our loyal followers. So I also want to talk a little bit about AEW and their plan. It looks like they've got the main event of Double or Nothing booked.
Yes, I saw the end of AEW last night, so I know what happened.
Okay, I've seen everything but the end.
And I started watching. I got to when Sheeta came back.
Yeah.
So that was good. I thought when she came back and
did the double switch. Made you think she was turning heel, and then she turns baby back.
Yeah. But they do have the main event set for Double or Nothing.
It's got to be the Four Pillars Fatal 4-Way.
It is correct, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see what they're going to do because you have that match booked. It looks like they're really going to – I think we're going to get a Jericho Adam Cole one-on-one match.
Yeah, that has to be.
That has to happen.
Match. Yeah.
The match that's going to intrigue me is what are they going to do with the Elite and the Blackpool Combat Club?
It's funny. I really think they ought to do a blood and guts match with them, but I don't think they'll do it at the pay-per-view.
No, because usually they save that for a special Dynamite.
Right.
I wonder if they're going to do that Anarchy in the Arena match they did.
Perhaps, yeah, which basically just sounds like tornado rules.
Falls count anywhere, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, and who's going to be the fourth member to the Elite team?
Right. I mean, is Hangman Adam Page not cleared?
I don't know.
Yeah, they haven't talked at all about him.
Yeah, because they're really leaning towards Takahashi to be that fourth teammate.
It's funny. I was waiting for you to say his name because I always butcher it.
I butcher that one, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I would think Tanahashi, or yeah, I would think he would be.
Right.
I would think he would be the guy that would be in the match. Yeah, or not Tana. I know it's not Tanahashi.
No,
That's
I think it's like Takahashi or
yeah.
Yeah.
Takamura or
so. Yeah,
yeah.
It's a tongue twister of a list.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a hard one.
But he's a great
talent. Yeah.
But he's a great talent.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
He's as good in the ring as he is difficult to say his name.
Yes. Yeah, and then one thing that I kind of don't get right now in AEW is you signed such a huge talent and you've done really little with him in Jay White.
Yeah. If I'm Jay White, I've got to be reconsidering why I even signed with AEW.
I mean, he's the biggest free agent in the market. They signed him.
Yeah. And he left New Japan knowing he was going to be a huge free agent. I really think he must have been thinking that he was going to sign with WWE.
I'm thinking that. And then the whole Vince coming back thing switched his mind.
The Vince coming back, and then like with this whole merger thing, and like it seems like there might be a hiring freeze of some kind there.
I don't know.
Which would explain why they didn't really pursue Jay White.
Right. But
and a lot of companies do that. Like if they're going through like a merger or a buyout or something, they'll have like a short-term hiring freeze.
Especially in front office, there's going to be, because they're going to have to merge people from UFC and WWE who do the same job.
Right. And I wonder how much they're going to try to cross promote or like have, like you said, have guys in like the same job for WWE as for UFC. Yeah. They're such a different animal, with one being legit shoot fighting and one being, sports entertainment.
Right.
So it's two different beasts, and promoting them should be run by two different departments.
It should be. But something tells me that they're going to entwine and tangle up everything and make it.
I almost worry that UFC is going to try and milk some kind of success for themselves out of the purchase of WWE.
I think so.
Like seeing how many WWE guys they can get to maybe cross-train and try to become interested in being UFC fighters as well.
And then UFC,
Oh, yeah.
Now we're going to have the Conor McGregor in WWE moment.
Oh, it's going to happen. Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Conor McGregor's all but booked for WrestleMania next year.
Yeah, he's going to make an appearance.
Yeah, if not an actual match, he will at least have like a surprise. Introduction.
He's definitely involved somehow with WrestleMania.
Which I've heard they haven't even decided where they're going to have WrestleMania 41 yet.
Which is kind of surprising.
Because like last year around this time is when they announced that WrestleMania 40 would be in Philadelphia.
Yep.
So I would think we've got to be coming up on when they'd want to have nailed down when and where WrestleMania 41 is going to be.
I've been hearing for years and years and years. I wonder what's going to finally happen there. the Target Center in Minneapolis.
Yeah, I'm
They've been
surprised they
saying
haven't done Minneapolis.
they've been saying that before they announced the link that WrestleMania
Yeah.
40 was going to be in Minneapolis, and then they announced for the link, and I was just like, "I'll take it 4 years early."
Yeah. I really thought it would be 42 because
Yeah.
that's the 250 year anniversary of the United States.
Right, and that's when the MLB All Star Game's coming back,
Right.
the NBA All Star Game's coming back,
Right.
and I believe the NHL.
Yeah, I was going to say, I heard the NHL is going to have their All-Star game here as well.
So it kind of made sense for everyone to do it that year, but
Yeah.
it's also a great idea to jump ahead of the
Yeah.
curve. So,
Oh, yeah. I think it's a great idea to have it here 2 years earlier and kind of get that, it's almost like getting that celebration kickstarted.
right. And you know what? Maybe they'll surprise us and have 40 and 42 here.
That'd be awesome. You have 41 in, like I said, Minneapolis, or there's a couple different venues I thought about that like would make a lot of sense. Atlanta would make a ton of sense
Yeah.
with the new Mercedes-Benz dome there that replaced the Georgia Dome.
Right. You know where else? When you think about it, Vegas.
Vegas is another one I gotta believe is somewhere in the next 5 WrestleManias. We're gonna have a WrestleMania in Vegas.
Yeah, I think we are.
Dude, I'm in. And see, this is that time where I can say I'm in because no money is committed right now.
Exactly. Yes.
Like this is where I'm always just like, oh yeah, dude, I'm in. Let's go. Like the NFL schedule is going to be announced next week, and so they'll announce, when every game's going to be. We already know where they're going, and we just don't know when. Like, and in some cases, we don't know where because, like, the Eagles are scheduled to play a game against the Patriots that is a Patriot home game, and they've already said that a Patriot home game will be played in Germany as part of their international series. And so it's got a lot of people speculating that the Eagles could be that team.
You're right. That would make sense.
I got to tell you, my dad, when he was stationed in the Army, or he was in the Air Force, excuse me, he served his overseas tour in Germany.
Wow.
And he had always said he wanted to go back there.
Right.
And we went to the Eagles game in London in 2018.
Oh, nice.
And I've always thought, man, if the Eagles go to have a game in Germany, I've got to try to make it happen.
Right.
Like, because he can't go with me. Like, it'll be like I'm going in tribute for him.
Exactly. That would be awesome. At
least that's the pitch I'm going to give my wife. You got if I all of a sudden can't show up for any of these shows anymore with a broken jaw, you'll know why.
Exactly. That's why for all wait, hold on, let me see. Yeah, all outs in Wembley.
Yes.
I was thinking about doing something special that day.
Yeah.
That is my brother who passed. That's his birthday.
Oh wow.
And I've always wanted to go to England, and that would have been awesome, but obviously it's not in the cards.
Well, yeah,
yeah. I feel like I have to do something that day for that event.
But yeah, let me know. I'll be in for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does sound like a good thing to do. Yeah.
And especially, I think it's going to be a fever pitch. I mean, they already sold half the building out. In 40
Despite what the one guy on Twitter is trying, like, he's a hater. Whoever that guy, I don't even want to. Even if I knew who he was, I don't even want to give him a shout out on the show.
I don't. I don't get. People are always, the building's too big. And then all of a sudden, when they get half of it, instead of saying, "Hey, congratulations,"
right.
It's like it's good for wrestling. It's good for what we enjoy.
If I were Vince McMahon or Triple H, I'd be cheering them on for this because if they can sell it, if they can get a crowd in Wembley for their crap, like could you imagine what WWE could do? Because look, as much as I love AEW, like they're just not on the WWE's level yet. Like they're just not.
They're not. They're not. And but I think though in the United Kingdom they might be on the same level because
And if so, I mean that'd be huge for them.
they
to
have
be up
better
there.
television in the United Kingdom than WWE does.
Right. I know they're probably carried. They're probably
Yeah.
carried a lot more stations there.
They are. So I could see that fever pitch
Mhm.
there. And especially with the Khan family's association to that city.
Right.
Number one, the Jags.
The Jags are the unofficial team of
They're
London.
the unofficial team of London. If there's ever an NFL franchise to move, that's it right there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like the Jaguars have basically already called dibs. Like if that happens, they're going.
Yeah. The Khan family want to be there. I mean, I mean, their product is for AEW on more televisions overseas than WWE, especially not in the United Kingdom market. And I think that we're gonna see in July and August a fever pitch of wrestling fans because
the Money in the Bank there.
the SmackDown before Money in the Bank, it's gonna be a crowd that we haven't seen that lively in a long time. And then,
I think Montreal's crowd for Sami Zayn was insane.
right. Yeah, it's gonna rival that.
I think it's gonna be even better than that. Yeah.
I think so. So I think
The thing is, I don't know that there's anybody WWE has that they could put in that spot that like what they had for Sammy in Montreal.
not really.
No.
I don't know if they would pull the trigger on it though.
Okay, who are you thinking?
Butch
Oh,
or a Tyler Bate call up and Tyler Bate go.
oh, that would be huge. That would be fantastic. Either Tyler Bate or Butch.
Right.
Like I would love to see Butch like win a random battle royal and get himself a freaking Universal Championship match with Roman Reigns.
People would go absolutely bonkers if
They
happened.
really would.
They really would.
This has to happen now.
Yeah. See, I should be writing. And then that's the thing. Also, because I believe the Brawling Brutes are on Raw now.
Right. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. So they could be going for the.
So they could be going for the new World Heavyweight Championship, especially if it's a Drew McIntyre wins it.
Oh man.
Seth Rollins. You could have a Drew McIntyre Butch match, which would really feature Scotland and England in one of the main events at Money in the Bank.
Oh, it'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they're going to do separate Money in the Bank ladder matches for Raw and SmackDown.
I think they're not going to.
I don't think so either.
I think because
that would be 4 Money in the Bank ladder matches. I think that would be overkill.
I think that would be overkill too. Yeah, I think it's going to be a men's and a women's match.
Yeah, and I guess they'll probably be co-branded.
Yeah, not unless they do what they did with when they had to climb up the Titan Tower and have the men and women like mixed in the same match and have a woman's brief.
I have to say, I haven't put that on my list, but there's been a couple times I've been thinking about it.
I mean, that was craziness, that match.
That was like, whenever people say, man, you got to take chicken shit and turn it into chicken salad.
That was it.
That was WWE showing you how they took chicken shit and turned it into chicken salad.
They really, I mean, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
That whole thing.
Yeah, that really was a fantastic match. Highly entertaining.
Yeah.
And somehow Baron Corbin not in jail despite murdering 2 people that then showed up the next night on Raw.
It's wrestling.
He threw them off the top of a damn building.
Yes.
Off of a freaking skyscraper. I'm sitting there, I'm like, are we really going to brush over the fact that he just murdered 2 people?
Yeah, they're just going to rush over it.
And then they were back on Raw the next night like nothing happened.
That was fantastic.
I was like, hold on. Like, I can't be the only guy who knows this. And finally they did say, like, oh, well, there was a smaller part of the building that was underneath. I'm like, you didn't lead with that. You didn't tell us about that until you had to explain how those 2 fuckers are still alive.
Exactly. Yeah, they had to backtrack just a smidge on that one. That was great.
And I'm like, and how are the announcers not freaking the freak out there?
Yeah. And then my thing is with the draft that we haven't even unpacked that yet.
No, I know. We're 45 minutes into the show, and I was actually hoping to, have a shorter episode tonight. We haven't even talked one bit about the draft.
I mean, what did they do to us on that?
So I have to talk about the most baffling part to me first, which is what they did on Monday night for the second part of the draft. Okay. Which, first off, they announced Rhea Ripley as the first pick of Monday Night Raw, which makes a ton of sense. Now the SmackDown Women's Champion is on Monday Night Raw. Yes, you heard me right.
Yes.
And I'm sure they're just going to do the stupid title switch. And that's how they're going to kill Bianca Belair's record-breaking Raw Women's Championship reign.
I think there's going to be something different.
Okay.
I think they're going to rebrand the women's titles.
That'd be good.
I think we're going to have a women's world champion and a WWE women's champion.
Okay.
I think they might rebrand because they might be trying to get rid of the Raw and SmackDown brand.
Well, then why did we just have a goddamn draft?
No, I'm saying like...
No, I know what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah.
Just like how they had the WWE Tag Team titles and the World Tag Team titles during the original brand split. Yeah.
Right. I think that's what they might be working on.
And they might end up doing that with the tag team titles now and just call the tag, like Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, just call them the WWE Tag Team Champions, and then just decide that on SmackDown they're going to crown new World Tag Team Champions.
Which would work.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one thing that made no sense to me with the draft was why would they put so many NXT call-ups on the SmackDown Lowdown and Raw Talk?
Yeah, they really downplayed the NXT call-ups. One, I was baffled. So let me see if I understand this right. The NXT Women's Champion, Indy Hartwell, is being called up to Monday Night Raw.
Correct.
And she is relinquishing the NXT women's title.
Yes.
But the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, are taking the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships to SmackDown.
Correct.
Now, are they going to wrestle on both shows? Are they just defending these NXT Women's Tag Team titles on SmackDown? Are they going to become the SmackDown Women's Tag Team titles?
I don't know what they're doing because, see, for me, Friday night when Alba Fire and Isla Dawn got drafted, and then
Kiana Chance and
that I was going to call her Casey Catanzaro. That's because I used to watch a lot of Ninja Warrior when she was on it. So Chance and Carter.
Yeah.
When they challenged them, I thought, oh, they're going to win the titles on Tuesday.
So did I, yeah. And then they get drafted.
Surprise! They get drafted to Raw on us. I'm just like, and my thing is, okay, I get why they put some of the draftees on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of the announcements on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Why, of all people, Grayson Waller who they have pegged to be a cocky, upstart, young heel. Why is he going on the same show as Theory? When
Yeah,
they
he
both
should
have
be on
that
Raw.
same
Like,
mentality of the cocky, arrogant young heel. Why have him not go to Raw? And better yet, why not make him make a debut in the ring that night to really get under people's skin?
yeah, I feel like they missed the boat on that one.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not going to bring up Braun Breaker and you're going to bring up Grayson Waller, at least have him make a big impact to begin.
Right.
So,
And to me, it almost seems like now they're gonna save the call up of Braun Breaker until after Battleground,
yeah.
and maybe sometime in July or August we can have a Braun Breaker debut. Which again, totally okay with it not being mixed in with the draft.
Right.
Just gotta be like, I don't know. I felt like, okay, JD McDonough. I'm a huge fan of JD McDonough, and I think
Right.
he's going to do great things on Monday Night Raw.
But
But you're going to try to tell me that like Cameron Grimes, the worst kept secret in all of WWE is that Cameron Grimes is getting called up to SmackDown as part of the draft. I mean, I'm pretty sure Stevie Wonder saw that one coming.
I think he did.
Like, okay, like that's fine. Like it's fine to have Cameron Grimes there, but like you could have announced that on the SmackDown or Raw Talk. It was because it was the last pick of the draft.
Right. Yeah, you could have had that on Raw Talk, but we had To the Moon.
Yeah, and look, and I like him. I like Cameron Grimes,
Yeah.
but like to say that he deserves a call up over, say, like Braun Breaker,
Right.
like, that's just silly to me. Like Braun Breaker just had the most successful run of any NXT champion probably since Finn Balor.
Yeah, I would say that. And now you're keeping him there.
Yeah.
I get why they're doing it because we had the Breaker face mellow heel get angle. Now they flip flopped them. They did the
Yeah.
double turn with the two. Now we're going to see the heel Breaker against the face mellow. I'm all for that. I think they have some wonderful chemistry. I'm ready
Mhm.
for that. But it's just like, when are we getting the Breaker call up? When do we finally get him on the main roster? When do we finally get to see a Gunther Braun Breaker match?
Oh yes, please sign me up for Gunter and Braun Breaker.
Right.
Those two would tear the freaking house down.
That's what I want. Like I want to see Braun against some new blood.
Yeah, I'm with you. I want to see Braun against some new blood. I think that he would really benefit from a call up.
I think so.
Another one that I was surprised didn't get a call up was Cora Jade.
I was kind of surprised, but then when I looked at whom they called up from NXT,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they did pick Zoe Stark, who should go up. Mindy
Yeah.
Hartwell has spent her time there.
Oh yeah.
And then it was the two tag teams for the women, really.
Right.
So they kind of wiped out the NXT women's tag team division when you look at it.
And man, I was really hoping. In fact, I guess we still might see it, like because I don't know. They haven't said whether or not the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions are only going to defend on Raw now. But if they are going to go to SmackDown, I want to see Isla Dawn, Alba Fire versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, because I want to see Isla Dawn and Liv Morgan in the ring together. Like the two crazies just go at it.
That would be great.
Because I think those two, like, they could take the women's tag team division to the next level.
They could. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they're going to do with with the NXT Women's Tag Titles, with that whole division, I'm all for a tournament. I loved how they ended NXT.
I love tournaments. Yeah.
I love how we had Dexter Loomis sweeping Indy Harwell off her
That
feet,
was so cool. I loved that.
walking her out. That was awesome. And then letting the women fight for the title. Let's have a tournament.
Yeah. Yeah, let's have a tournament. Let them, like,
We're gonna have two tournaments because we're gonna have the World Championship title tournament too.
yeah, it's gonna be a fun time. We should have a little bracketology here on the show.
I think once they announce them, we should.
Okay. Well, then we'll make that a part of our plan as well. We'll do bracketology on the show. We'll talk about the WWE World Championship Tournament and the NXT Women's Championship Tournament.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, I think that's going to be about it for tonight. So we're going to try to rejoin you guys on Saturday before Backlash to kind of give our rundown, give our picks on some of the big matches.
Well, it's only 7, so
I guess we'll just do all of them then.
I guess we'll just do them all. Boom, 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 boom.
All right, sounds like a plan. Look forward to it, and then afterwards we will give you our reactions to Backlash.
Oh, very nice.
All right, everybody, have a great night and happy wrestling.